Hey, blast off, I can talk my ass off. Hey, smoke you what you seen and I'll tell you what I saw. Hollywood, what you think and I'll tell you what I thought. And we can talk about it all when we.
What's up, y'all? What it do? We back.
We made it.
We made it. Smoke Dizzle.
What up?
What number does it vote?
Oh, man, what number are we
Oh,
on?
Lord. Come on now.
34?
Yes.
34.
34. Guys, I want to welcome everybody back to the 34th episode of the Trash Talk Podcast.
3-4.
And we got a very special episode. The topic's gonna be interesting, but I'm not gonna reveal it right now, you guys, because if I reveal it, some of you guys might be pissed off.
They might skip ahead
or get angry at it, so I'm not gonna say it. But stick around, and you'll find out what it is.
All right.
Yeah, you know,
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question.
What's up?
All right, so you've been saying, like, our episodes in Spanish now.
Mm-hmm.
I think since like the 17th or 18th episode.
Yes.
How do you say 26 in Spanish?
36.
I thought that's 36. Treinta? How do you say 34?
34.
So how do you say 26?
No.
Come on. You done did this every...
know.
You had to do that for 10 days and 10 weeks in a row.
I keep wanting to say 96.
It's dos something. Duente?
No, hold on.
Damn, Smoke, I was hoping you was going
I know, man. You done got me so far off of it now. I forgot how to say it.
I was thinking that this was a learning lesson for Smokey. He been saying, I want to say it started in episode 17 or 18, but I'm like, man, he going to learn how to count to 100.
Veinte.
Veinte.
I wanted to say nueve, or, yeah.
So
Veinte. Veinte is 20, and treinta is 30.
So
Yeah.
how do you say 32?
32.
How do you say 25?
Veinte.
Cinco.
Cuatro.
Cinco.
Oh, cinco.
Cuatro is four.
Cuatro is 4.
How do you say 18?
Cinco. What was it?
Oh, God, Smokey.
Hold on.
I was hoping you got this.
Man, I used to be good with Spanish. It's just been so long since I've used it.
I don't think Spanish is the problem. I think it's your dyslexia.
Well, that could be too.
He's going to mess around and say 80.
18 is años. Años.
I don't know if we'll get demonetized for using that word. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into these segments. We're going to get into some good old OMG, and we're going to get into some WTF. Who goes first?
It's your turn to go first.
All right, y'all.
OMG. We didn't do an OMG last week.
No, we doubled up on Florida. So, Georgia, you know we love y'all to death, but we gave y'all a pass last weekend. So this episode, I'm actually going to bring it back home to the great old state of Georgia. And I just opened up your mugshots, and I don't want to look at them yet until it's time to explain this. All right, guys. Here, are you ready for this, Smokey?
I'm ready.
It's not funny. It's kind of just obscure but sad in the same place.
All right.
A Georgia attorney thought a man hit his Mercedes-Benz with a golf ball. He ran him over and killed him.
Jesus Christ.
This happened 2 hours ago.
2 hours
This
ago?
happened 2 hours ago.
Wow. So 2 days and 2 hours once you see this.
Yeah,
Or maybe not even 2 days completely.
Yeah, maybe like a day and a half.
Yeah, depending on when you're watching this.
Right. An Atlanta attorney was indicted for killing a man who may have hit his Mercedes-Benz with a golf ball, the district attorney office said. Brian Schmidt, 48 years of age, was indicted by a grand jury on charges of murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault in the death of 60-year-old Hamid Jahanagard. Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard has announced it on Friday. Schmidt allegedly hit Jahanagard, he was a 60-year-old prominent real estate investor, in the driveway of a rental property owned by the victim. Jahanagard was struck by the vehicle and died 2 days later of blunt force trauma, injuries to the head.
Jesus.
All because he hit his Mercedes-Benz with a golf ball.
So this happened a couple days ago, but the story just came out.
Okay, yeah, the story just was released. And by the way, let me cite my sources so we don't get copyrighted. By the way, that's something else that can get us copyrighted.
Yeah.
I'm serious. This is from USA Today, and it was written by Nyndi Yancy Bragg 2 hours ago. What do you think about this?
Wow.
You know what I see this is a symptom of overpopulation.
Really?
Yeah, because when you take a society and you overpopulate a certain area and people are living too close together, it leads to a lack of common courtesy. And, you see it in road rage all the time. People are sitting in way too much traffic. They get road rage. And, we hear about it all the time. There's somebody runs over somebody in traffic, or somebody hits the other car just because they're mad. Because they got mad because they cut off, instead of, oh my God, I'm going to be 3 seconds later to where I'm going. I'd rather just kill this person,
I mean, and this happened in his driveway.
Yeah, I mean, that, what do you think?
Well, I don't know if I would say overpopulation. I think, and this guy was what'd they say, an attorney? It was an attorney.
Yeah. Well, if you were living in the country, though,
you think
you would see this? Yeah. I mean, for one, you probably wouldn't get struck by a golf ball in your car.
Well,
but it may happen. But do you think that people way out in the country, they're not all crammed together? Do they tend to feel that rage over incidents?
This guy might have just had a bad day and probably had a lot going on. But if I were to paint the scenario, I would say this was probably a Sunday, Saturday. The attorney's been working all week doing cases. He's sitting on his front lawn, sitting out there, just got done cutting the grass, drinking a nice cold one. Just bought a brand new 2019 S-Class Mercedes. Next thing you know, you hear ding! And your alarm goes, be-doo, be-doo.
Of course you're going to be mad.
So he gets up. Who hit my car with a golf ball? He sees old Hanagard over there. Oh, I'm sorry, son. Just give me my golf ball back. I'm sorry. Oh, you going to get this golf ball.
Yeah.
Hops in his S-Class and runs this guy over, man.
That's crazy.
I don't know, dude. That means he would have to be, like, chasing him down with the car,
Yeah.
Bro.
I mean, of course, he's 60 years old. He ain't going to be, doing no sprints or anything, but he would still have to make an effort to actually chase him and run him over.
And think about it. Let's say the guy wasn't in the car when he hit it. So that means the golf ball had to hit the car. He had to go get the keys, get in the car, crank the car up, and find this guy. If that's not the definition of premeditated, I don't know what is.
Can you claim temporary insanity? I mean, he's a lawyer, so I'm sure he can figure out a way to claim something.
Well, he was indicted by a grand jury. What does indicted mean?
That means you are brought up on charges.
Does that mean you are charged?
No, that means you're brought up for charges.
So that's his first appearance in court.
Well,
maybe?
let's go for the official definition, so we're not spewing anything out of our backsides. I'm gonna bring up the official definition of indictment.
Our backsides.
Let's see here.
I always thought when you get indicted, it was
indictment definition.
I always thought
Here's
it was like
the definition of
put it up to the mic.
a formal charge or accusation of a serious crime.
Yeah. So it's just the charge. Yeah.
Okay, so he's
Basically what I was saying.
he's not charged, but he's facing charges. Gotcha.
But that's where, they would say indicted by a grand jury. That means he's set to go in front of a jury.
Right.
So this is not going to be a simple, you go see the judge and get through this. You're going to have to face, I think with any murder trial, though, you're going to have to face a jury.
Yeah, what was he charged with murder? I think.
Yeah, that's what he said, right?
Damn, that shows you how bad my memory is. A Georgia attorney thought a man hit his Mercedes with the golf cart.
Oh, so he doesn't even know for sure.
Yeah, he ran him over and killed him. Jesus Christ. 2 days later, that's right, yeah. Man, rest in peace to that guy. We're going to pray for his family, and we hope everything works out for that. And if that guy did hit him with the car, I don't wish jail on anybody, but you do the crime. You do the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's only right, an eye for an eye, man.
You're right. That's my OMG. What we got over there in the great or the state of Florida? Let's just say
State of Florida. I say the state is great. It's the great state of Florida, right?
Usually, when people use the term "great state," they usually use that of where.
Are they meaning the people or the land? Well, because the land is still nice. It's a nice place to be.
It's a retirement place. But when people use the phrase "great state," it usually is your state.
Yeah.
That's why I say the great state of Georgia, because I live here.
All right. The title of this one, and it comes from Fox News.
Oh Lord.
So that's not slandered at all, is it?
Nah, of course not.
This should be just reporting, so maybe it's we're straight up the middle on this one. But anyway, Florida man dumped dirt on his girlfriend's borrowed car with a front end loader.
Wow.
Florida man allegedly damaged a white Cadillac after he dumped a bunch of dirt. Listen, they always use,
What?
they always use informal terms.
A whole bunch of dirt.
On Fox News, they use informal terms like this.
It was a gang of people.
Yeah. After he dumped a bunch of dirt with a front end loader when his girlfriend showed up to his job Friday in the borrowed car. Hunter Mills, age 20, was arrested at an excavating company in Crestview, Florida, and charged with criminal mischief. According to Okaloosa, we've had a few there, right?
Yeah.
Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, Mills' girlfriend went to the excavating company after he told her that he wanted to talk. Ooh, they were having a spat.
Yeah. Again, something premeditated.
Yep. So they're having an argument. She arrived in a white 2010 Cadillac belonging to someone else. The other guy.
Exactly.
Doesn't say it, but it's the other guy.
I'm sure.
After she refused to answer a question, the defendant used a front-end loader and dumped a bucket full of dirt on the roof of the driver's side half of the car.
Wow.
The girlfriend was not injured, but the driver's side window was open. This caused dirt to fill up the air vents, center console, power windows. Now, I sent you the picture of this.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay, let me take a look at it. I'll post this on screen, by the way, guys.
Yep.
I'm wondering, does that... Oh, wow. Does he...
This
Jesus.
this car could possibly be totaled after this.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think a good detail in the inside and the outside... think maybe it could possibly still be driven?
I mean, it's probably running, but he definitely did some damage. It's going to take some money to clean that up.
So, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You would be willing to bet that a third guy was involved?
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure a third guy owned that car.
Or girl. Could be girl, too.
Now, the first comment says, I'm guessing she got dumped.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. So, let me ask you, do you think that it's possible... All right, you being the guy you are, let's say you're in a committed relationship for 10 years.
Yes.
You got 3 kids by this lady, right?
Uh-huh.
Y'all are madly in love, or she puts on the portrayal that y'all are madly in love.
Yes.
You come home, she's in bed with another guy.
Uh-huh.
The guy runs out, you don't catch the guy. Could you, in your heart, or could you do that? Could you go as far as be like, you call me cheating and you're mad at this point. You thought everything was perfect. You go get in your Bobcat, your front end loader, your cherry picker, your whatever, and dump some dirt on her car? Would you?
Now, I will say in the past, yes. At this point in my life, no.
Have you done something like that in the past?
No, but I've been to the point where I drove to a different county and searched for people.
That's where the stalking charge came from.
Nah.
It all unfolds.
You know, that charge actually came up. And if you didn't see the story, I've never stalked anyone. Now, I had a wrongful article, would you say, on my criminal background check that I had a long time ago. Now, I was only 19 when that came up, and I didn't even know the people that supposedly this was tied to.
How old were you when you went to the other county?
Probably 21 or so.
Okay.
So that happened before this ever happened. But yeah, I did go to a different county searching for people at one point in time that I never found, and thankfully I never found them.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, you know, everybody, when you're young and you're in your first so-called committed relationship and you get your heart broken, you will do some pretty stupid things.
I wonder if I ever did anything like that. I've never done nothing like that, but I've definitely had females. I've had bricks thrown through windows.
Yeah.
I've had
Stuff happens, yeah.
Yeah, chicks sending guys to jump me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young people really get passionately, emotionally tied to their first committed relationships. And even others. It doesn't even have to be the first. And in the heat of that moment during a breakup or during a spat, you know, you can do some pretty crazy things. And later in your life, look back and go, wow, that was really stupid.
Yeah. I mean, and you really can't blame him because, like I said, let's say they were in a 10-year relationship. Everything's going good. He's out there working hard, and he comes home and finds her in the bed with another guy.
Yeah.
You're going to be a little pissed.
Yeah, and you will do something stupid in the heat of the moment.
Right. My thing is, I wouldn't be mad at the guy.
Yeah.
Like, if my wife was cheating on me with another man, I'm not mad at the man.
Yeah, I usually would say that too. But there are certain circumstances that would cause me to say that I am mad at the man. Like,
if y'all are friends?
yes, he's friends. He knows about the situation. He's taking advantage of the situation.
Right.
You know, then that's a different circumstance. But yeah, if the guy you don't know the guy really doesn't have any idea what's going on.
It's
then,
her.
Yeah,
It's her.
It's her. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. Love makes people do crazy things.
Yeah, because like the song goes, love hurts.
100%, dude.
And it does. Yeah, it's a crazy emotion that only humans seem to have.
You think so?
Yeah, they say there's other animals like dolphins.
Dogs, even, I would think.
Yeah, dogs. Yeah, but you'll never see like well, maybe you do. You have your dog, right? And your dog loves you and you hang out with it all the time. That dog can show emotion the day you bring home another dog and you're loving all over it.
Or like we said in the last episode, when I pretended to play dead, Titan would come up to me and make the...
But do they get their feelings hurt? Like, you bring home another dog, you know, you're playing with it and you're like, get away from me, Titan. Stay over there. I'm playing with the new dog.
I would say so.
You leave out of the house, leave that new dog along with the old dog.
The old
Something
dog
might happen.
Yes, me and you now.
Yeah.
It's just me and you.
You
Show
taking
you
my
who boss
attention
is.
away? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe dogs have that emotion as well.
I would have to agree, man. Yeah, but as far as him dumping dirt, I mean, I wonder if he got charged for anything.
Yeah, he did criminal mischief.
Oh, it's a misdemeanor. He'd be out in a day or two.
Yeah, I mean it's nothing too serious, but I imagine he's gonna have to pay for that.
Of course. I'm curious to know what happened.
Probably getting a lawsuit out of it.
She is.
Oh, he is.
Why would he get a lawsuit?
Because he did the deed. He dumped the dirt.
Yeah, but she would get the money from it.
No, I would say the owner of the car is going to get the
Oh,
money.
it was borrowed. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
See, the new guy is probably like, man, I didn't even know she had a boyfriend.
But I got a $50,000 check coming.
Yeah, getting my new Cadillac, that's for sure.
For real. And then it was a white car. You know how hard it is to clean all that dirt off? And then it's Florida, so I'm sure that was some red dirt, you know? Well, the picture says it was. But yeah. Anything else on your WTF?
No, that covers WTF for this week.
Already. That's our OMG and that's our WTF, guys. So let's go ahead and get into the next segment, one that all you seem to enjoy.
Explain this.
Explain this.
And it's my turn to bring up and explain this. So, of course, as I do on Explain This, we are bringing up a mug shot.
All right,
And I have a wonderful mugshot for us to examine this week.
Oh my Lord Jesus! What in the hell? What the?
What do you suppose has gone on in this gentleman's life?
I don't know if those
to lead him to this point.
This dude looks like the Blue Meanie. No, what? How?
This is what the Blue Meanie's gonna look like at 70.
What do I compare this guy to? He's like a superhero. You know what? Nope, I got it. He enjoyed Olympic swimming so much that he was like, you know what? I love
his
goggles.
Statted.
I'm putting these goggles will be with me for life. And under that goggle looks like a little yellow kangaroo or a koala or something.
Maybe.
You think those are tattoos or markers?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if he thought I need to rob someone, because I don't have the backstory for this. I'm wondering if he thought he had to rob someone and he didn't have a mask. So he's like, I'll take care of this.
That's crazy. But if you look at this picture, you can also see that he's not wearing a jail outfit. He's got on a vest.
Yeah, so this is probably just a local county.
Yeah, probably pre-booking.
Yeah, and what does he have? A Pikachu on his face?
That's
what
it
is
looks
that?
like. It looks like a koala or a Pikachu or a kangaroo
or some weird wolf.
Either way, it's weird.
I would love to know the backstory behind this one.
This dude looks like a superhero. That's what he looks like. Or
A superhero down on his luck.
if you say so. And man, I would love to know if this was Florida. He looks like a Wyoming kind of guy.
A Wyoming guy?
Yeah, it looks like he's from Wyoming.
Let's see. He is from Florida.
Of course. How did I know it? Only in Florida.
I wish I had the backstory, but this site does not give the backstory for this one.
Yeah, man. Looks like he's just a. And then again, this could have been Halloween night. It could have been. That's his costume.
This came straight from the Florida Department of Justice.
Yeah. So maybe maybe it's Halloween night. He's got his grandbabies with him. They giving out candy.
Yeah.
He put on some.
You know what? And he could have went to the kids and been like, I'm not good with costumes. Can y'all
From a search.
give me a costume, or draw something?
Yeah, Granddaddy, we got you.
Yeah, make me ready to go out to trick or treat with y'all.
All right, we're gonna make you look like the Flash with some goggles. And how about a little Pikachu?
Yeah, give you a Pikachu right there on your face. I'll take you be. I don't even know what a Pikachu is. What
Give me a Pikachu.
the hell a Pikachu? All right, go for it.
So the question is all right, now that they got them all dressed up, what sent them to jail? That's the thing.
He was looking in the mirror. He's like, man, you know what? I'm already dressed up for the occasion. I do love some M-word.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He did the 4-letter M-word on Halloween night.
Do you think he looks like a guy that would do the
Yeah,
M-word?
100%. You don't think so?
Now, this is purely speculation. We're not saying this guy did it. But he looks like he can enjoy it.
Yeah. Being from Florida, either the M-word or some sort of prescription,
Yeah.
something like that.
Alcohol, at the least.
Yeah, alcohol.
He look like he's had a rough life, man.
Yeah, and he's an older guy, so I try to show my respect to my elders when I can.
Yeah.
But you're walking out looking like you got goggles tattooed on your face with the Pikachu, sir. It's gonna be hard for me to respect you, my friend.
That's explain this.
That's our explain this. I Smoke Dizzle.
What's up?
Let's get into some good old-fashioned trash talk.
Booyah.
Booyah, booyah, booyah. What's going on with you, folk?
Everything's going on with me, folk.
What's new in your life? Talk to me.
Oh, man. Just a lot of life, man.
Life?
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Life, man. I've got some interesting things in the work.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to speak much on it, but
I get it.
I got some interesting things happening.
Yeah, some announcements for the future dates.
Hopefully. It's going to be yeah, we'll leave it at that.
All right.
But yeah, man. So this is what guys, I wanted to save this to, talk about it, right? Or I didn't want to bring it up in the beginning of the episode. I wanted to talk about it now.
Okay.
I have no clue. I was just holding time. So I was thinking, let's just freestyle it, bro.
Click, 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 click.
Yep.
Now, if all two of you that are left watching this right now.
No, all right, I got a question.
What's up?
I got a question. All right. Abortion.
Uh-oh.
Is that too?
No, let's get into it.
Okay. You guys, we watched 2 videos today, and both of them came from the great state of Georgia. One, and we mentioned this on the last podcast or the podcast before that. I think we did it with the Germans. A lady got into a fight. She had her kid, and the lady came after her swinging, and she had this newborn baby in her hand and just dropped the baby, and the baby died. It's like she had no regard for this child's life.
Yeah.
We also watched another video where firefighters saw a bag moving on the side of the road, went out there, opened the bag, and it's a newborn baby, umbilical cord and everything still attached. And something else. You remember earlier in the trash talk days, we did one on the McNabb trial where
Yes.
that's in Georgia. What is it with people? These are innocent children. Why are y'all? If you don't want the kid, I promise you, I am willing to bet 100%. I'm willing to bet my life on this. If you don't want your child, don't do something horrific. You can take it to a hospital. There are literally, I promise y'all, my cousin just had a brand new baby. My cousin just had a baby. Shout out, Mira, love you to
All
death.
babies are brand new by nature.
Right. Well, my cousin just had a new baby. And shout out to you, Mira. But me and my mom went to go see the baby. You know, beautiful little baby. Walked into the hospital, and I saw a sign when you walked in that said, I can't remember if it said unwanted babies are welcome here, or welcome, or drop off baby welcome, something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, did you read that sign? She was like, yeah. And I'm like, what's that mean? My mom was like, basically, if people don't want their kids, this is a safe haven for them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is literally so easy in this day and time. If you, for some reason, feel like you are not able to raise this child you are about to have,
Right.
with no repercussions, no commitment at this point on, you can actually give up your kid lawfully, willfully, with no problems whatsoever.
Is that lawfully,
And that kid,
though?
yeah.
If you just had a newborn baby.
Yeah, you can adopt out a kid. You can give up a kid for adoption.
But what I'm saying is, let's say, okay.
Because no matter what, by law, you should be able to do that. Because if you have a kid and then something in your mind clicks and you go, I'm not going to be able to raise this kid.
You need to get rid of that kid.
You do.
The legal way.
Yes.
The safe one.
Yeah, because it is much better for a kid to not go through that trauma.
Right.
Of being dumped in some unlawful way.
So my thing is, let's say it was a young girl that had a kid, didn't want her parents knowing, and this kid just had the baby and just dropped the baby off at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's no questions asked, or do you think they'll come, like maybe child services will go to her and be like, well, why did you do this?
You may get a few questions. And they may go through, just to try to get a backstory, a scenario of why you're going this route. But all in all, you're not going to be brought up on criminal charges for doing it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, that probably, if you didn't absolutely want this baby, you couldn't afford adoption, you didn't have time to go through the legal services, so you was just like, you know what, my last option is just take it to somewhere that I know it's going to be taken care of,
Yeah.
So I would look at it like, if I was the child service people, I'd be like, even though I don't agree with what you did it in a humane way.
Yes, much more humane than these cases that we're seeing brought up. Now, for one, you almost have, a lot of these cases are, probably the majority of these cases are underage girls.
Right.
Who are getting pregnant and without their parents' consent.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it really matters this day and age, because if a child is pregnant, they need to be taken care of no matter what, whether the parents consent or not. But the kids are worried about that repercussion. A lot of this could be parenting that's bringing this on.
True.
Strict parenting and what I'll do to you if you ever do get pregnant, and they're trying to scare their kids.
All right, let's look at it from this point of view. All right, let's say that they live in a state where abortion is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't want the kid, but they can't get an abortion because it's illegal. So
I think it is legal in all states up to a certain age. Like, I think it varies on the
I thought Alabama was
limits.
Illegal.
Well, let's look that up, because I was thinking like any state you can do it up to a certain term limit.
And that's what I want to talk about. When is it okay and when is it not okay to get an abortion? I want to go into depth about that. I have you being a libertarian, right?
Yes.
And I don't know what I am. I'm the contra code. I'm up, left, down, A, B, A, select, start. I don't know. I just know what I think is right. I know what I think is good. And I know what feels right in my soul. You got some stats for us?
Well, let's see. I have a list of all.
Please don't go through the whole list.
State by state. No, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I want to see current legal status nationwide.
I think it's legal in most states.
Okay, there are states where it is completely illegal.
Really?
I didn't realize that.
Okay. Well, that's all we needed to know right there, ain't it?
Yeah, abortion laws prior to Roe v. Wade.
Roe versus Wade.
Well, this is prior to Roe v. Wade. Now, we need to go post-Roe.
Well, okay, so...
Okay, so mandatory must display. No man. There's states where there's no mandatory counseling for abortion, and some of them where you have to have counseling.
All right, I think. Let me show you how easy it is to Google something. Check this out. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Guys, bear with it. Is abortion legal in all states? Is abortion legal in all states? All right, let's see what we got here, guys. All right, it says abortion in the United States
According
is...
to Wikipedia, specifically, abortion is legal in all U.S. states, and every state has at least one abortion clinic.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. After Roe, that's what it was. Is the reason some states were illegal was before the Roe v. Wade judgment.
Oh, but it also says New York law banned third trimester abortions except when necessary to save the life of a pregnant woman. Wow. All right.
Here's one note. In Georgia, before Roe, it was only legal in case of rape.
Well, God, this is gonna be a touchy subject here.
Mm-hmm.
Could a woman? All right, let me get back to the point I was trying to make.
Yes.
Let's say this kid is a preteen, right?
Yes.
Has a child, still has her whole life ahead of her. Only was with a guy maybe once or twice, right?
Yes.
Has a baby, doesn't want to tell her mom, and she can't get a ride to the hospital. She doesn't have a driver's license. She doesn't have a car.
Mm-hmm.
So, and abortion is illegal in that state. You know, well, not illegal, but they said in late semesters.
There's different term limits on how old the fetus has to be to where it becomes illegal.
Right. So let's look at it from a 13-year-old's point of view. Their prefrontal cortex is not developed. They're not thinking properly. Their parents don't know that they're pregnant. They're in a state and they're 9 months pregnant, and they can't get an abortion because it's 9 months pregnant. They can't get a ride to the hospital, and that child is not thinking properly. So they want to get rid of that kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still wrong, but that's kind of like their only option.
Abortion.
No, if she's trying to go get an abortion, but she can't because she's in her 9th month.
Well, she shouldn't have waited that long for sure.
True.
But in that case, that's where adoption is your option.
But then she would have to go to her parents and be like, look, maybe she's afraid of that.
Well, there may be cases where, at 13, though, you really can't do anything on your own.
And you can't do anything. You're a minor.
But, that's a case where you either tell your parents or you face the consequences.
Right. So my question to you is, are you okay with abortion? All across the board, are you okay with it?
I would not do it. I'll put it to you like this. No, I wouldn't do it.
No matter what the circumstance.
But I'm not telling someone else they can or can't do it. You see what I'm saying?
No. Because
because it is up to everyone to handle that on their own.
You said you wouldn't personally do it.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, you can't have a kid.
Yeah.
So you won't.
No, what I'm saying is I would not tell a significant other to do it.
Right.
If she's going to do it on her own, I can't stop that because you have no legal right to interfere with that if that's what she wants to do. But I would never force it upon someone. I would never, not that you can physically force it, but I would never persuade someone to do it.
You can physically.
Oh, of course, but that's illegal.
Well, so is abortion at the 9th month.
Oh, of course it is at the 9th month.
God, dude, we live in a so messed up world, man. Y'all, I don't have any kids. There are people out there like me that want a family, that want kids.
And there's people out there that have them left and right and don't want them.
Dude, Andre, or Big Boy from Outkast, he said one of the dopest lines.
Yeah.
He said, look at your child as a baby and not a paycheck.
Yeah.
How
many times does that happen?
That's what I'm saying. I love my black people. I'm half black. I love my people. I love y'all. I stand up for y'all support. But I don't know the statistics, but when you go to some of these poverty-stricken areas, you'll see a single mom.
Yes.
that lives on welfare, or that lives on Section 8,
Yeah.
and she has 9 kids.
Now this happens in the white community too.
Does it?
Yeah.
Trailer parks like that?
Yeah.
Do you know why they do that?
For financial security.
I think you're guaranteed, especially on the Trump administration now, I think each child is guaranteed like $2,000 or something like that.
Well,
On your taxes.
income taxes. Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
once a year, if you have 9 kids, 9 times 2, that's $18,000 you're getting a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, it's like you're just having babies, which is why I think China put the whole
Well, yeah, they did it for overpopulation.
population. There's 2 billion people in China.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We're gonna reach that limit to where we have to put some limit out there. You know, we're gonna reach that point of no return to where we have to control the population.
You want me to tell you why that'll never happen? Because
It will. Trust me.
In America, I don't think it'll ever happen.
It will.
Okay. Legally?
Everything you think that will not happen in America will eventually happen.
But that takes away. We live in the land of the free. So you taking away my right of how many children I can have, that goes against my human rights.
We lose rights every day. Every law on the book is a loss of a right.
Like what?
Anything.
Freedom of speech. You can go out there and have a rally as long as you're doing it peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
You can have that's not being taken away. You're allowed to carry guns as long as you do it
You're
legally.
allowed, right. What about traveling too fast? That's a law. You don't have that right.
Yeah, but it's not in our constitution of how fast you can drive. I mean,
There-
like our
there
amendments.
is an article about being able to travel unimpeded by government.
In our 13 amendments.
Well, no, not in the amendments, but in the Constitution. Now, of course, when they wrote that, there was no cars speeding down a highway, and there were no automatic rifles. You know,
muskets. And,
yeah.
and those were the Wild Wild West
People didn't
days.
have AK-47s when they wrote the
Right.
Constitution.
Got that shtick on me.
You know, and that's a tough thing. Being a libertarian, you know, I'm for people's rights. You know, I believe in freedom. I like freedom. I like to be able to live how I want to live as long as you're not hurting anyone else. But when you come down to abortion, are you hurting someone else?
That's the point.
That's the whole argument, yeah.
So-
at what point does this child become an individual?
Right. I agree with you 100%. But the way I look at an abortion is, if I'm with a woman, and if you ask me, that could be a form of rape almost. If I'm with somebody, we've been together for a while, she gets pregnant 8 months into her pregnancy, and she says, look, I don't want to have this baby. I want to get a... And I'm like, no, you're having this baby. And she's like, no, I don't want the baby. No, you're having this baby. I'm not taking you to no doctor's appointment. You're having it. You could look at that as a form of rape.
I don't get how that's a form of
Maybe
rape.
not rape. Maybe kidnapping, holding someone against their will, basically. You're gonna...
Forceful something.
What's the word?
That's what I'm trying to think of.
You're holding her against her will.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically trying to force someone to do something they don't want to do, which technically, if you are in a libertarian society where everyone has the freedom to do what they want to do unimpeded by anyone else, as long as they're not hurting someone else, that would be illegal.
Right.
You know, you can't force someone to do what they don't want to do.
So that's my thing. If I'm with somebody, I don't care if she's about to have the baby 2 days. If this is her body, if she I may hate it. I want this baby. I want it. We done got the name.
But you can't stop her if she wants to have an abortion.
That's it. That's why I say I'm okay with it. As long as the lady wants to do it, just do it legally, do it medically safe.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah, I mean that's something I can't say that I can't. I mean it's almost the conservatives. They will say no, that lady should not have the right to do it. You know, and the liberals will say no, it's a woman's right. She can do what she wants to, and you shouldn't have the freedom to say. Now I fall on the liberal side of that.
Why do the conservatives say no? She shouldn't have the right.
Because of the Bible.
Oh, God.
This comes back to a religious stance.
And being in the Bible Belt, I'm sure it takes a lot of...
Yeah. Well, most... it's not that most conservatives live in the South, but they live away from big cities. If you were to look at a demographic of a political map, basically, of the demographics of America, you would see these blue spots inside of the populated cities, and then the red spots are all this country area outside of the cities. Now, what is it about the population, about a condensed population? Some would say overpopulation. What is that makes the people generally liberal, whereas people who are living spread out more tend to be conservative?
Because when you're spread out more and you don't have your neighbors sitting right next to you, it seems like it gives off a sense of individuality. It's like I don't have to worry about the next person that's sitting next to me because they're 30 miles down the road versus somebody that's 2 feet next door.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
which is why conservatives tend to say they like freedom more, and liberals tend to say, no, we need government to control other people.
No, we don't need any. You are an adult. You are a human being. You can control your own actions. And if you don't do the proper way to control your own actions, then there's these things called jails and prisons, sir. Like we said in the beginning, you do the crime.
Do the time.
Yes, sir.
Now, that's just it, man. That's why I'm a libertarian, because I believe everyone, if you want to wreck yourself, you want to wreck your body physically,
have at it.
Do it. For God's sakes, just don't hurt anyone else in the process.
Hold on. Now, I got to make a point here.
I
got to ask you a question.
All right.
Do you know who Dr. Kevorkian is?
Yes.
Okay. You being libertarian and you
assisted suicide is where you're going.
Okay, guys, for people out there who don't know who Dr. Kevorkian is, what he was a doctor, a PhD, had an MD, and there were people that wanted to commit suicide, and they wanted to know the proper way to do it, the safest way to do it, the least amount of pain. So they would go visit a doctor by the name of Kevorkian, and he would help them commit suicide. He'd say, if you do it this way, you'll go through this. If you do it that way, you'll feel that, but you'll go through this. So, is that okay with you in your book, knowing that they're doing what they want to do?
Yes.
And this guy is helping them kill themselves, but he's doing what he wants to do, and they're willing to do it. Is that okay?
Now, on the outside, just looking at this with the book closed, I would say yes. That's what you want to do. You're not hurting anyone else. You go do it. But there is a catch. That person has family members. And are you hurting that family by doing it?
But that goes down to the definition of hurt. Emotional hurt.
Well,
versus
what if
physical
you have
hurt.
kids?
That's still emotional. It's not physical hurt.
No, not if they're dependent on you financially.
But then that goes against what you're saying. You're saying
No, this is just a question. I'm not saying.
Okay, well, maybe you're not saying that, but if going off of what you said, you said you can do whatever you want to do as long as it's not hurting anybody.
Yes.
Now, if you have kids that are under the age of 18,
yes, and they're depending on you. They are dependent.
I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying. But at the end of the day, that person is his own person, his or her own person.
Not until they're 18, though.
No, the person killing themselves.
Yes.
So you're okay with them doing that? Are you okay with them doing that if they have kids under the age of 18?
That's the gray area. Because if they have kids, like if the kids are well taken care of, then yes. Like if the person that wants this assisted suicide says, "Hey, I've got a financial plan already set up to take care of the family,"
right?
Then you're affecting them emotionally, of course, if they're attached to you. If they're unattached, then it really doesn't matter, does it? But if they are attached to you emotionally, emotional hurt is the only thing you're causing, which that's up for debate, and you can debate that until you're blue in the face, and no one's ever going to get anywhere when you're debating emotional
or mental.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you could look at it in the long run, emotional hurt, mental hurt could eventually lead into physical hurt.
Yes, they can. Which is why emotionally abused children grow up to get into relationships with emotionally abusive significant others.
Here we go. It all comes full circle. Guys, if you don't know, that's a good conversation, though. Like, first of all, suicide is illegal, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Here's a true story here. True story, guys. When I was younger, And when I was in my drug escapades, I was getting rid of these things, these prescription medications, and this was when I was way younger. This is a long, long time ago. And I knew a guy that, I promise y'all, this is going to sound a little morbid. You listening to me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. One of my homeboys called me like, hey, can you get any of these things? And I'm like, yeah, pull up to the house. They pull up to the house. There's 3 people in the car. A guy in the driver's seat, which was my homeboy. A girl in the passenger seat, which was, I'm assuming, his girlfriend. And there was a guy in the back seat. And this guy's face was mangled. Turns out he had a shotgun, put it to his head, and blew it off.
Yes.
Half of his face was literally gone.
Yes.
And he's there with these people. That was an attempted suicide. So if it's illegal and you did not kill yourself,
it's still...
how are you not in jail?
Well, if it's illegal and you attempted it, it would be the same thing as an attempted murder. You're still going to get charged with attempted murder.
How come he wasn't in jail?
I mean, it's all up to the legislation, to
That's crazy.
the local government to charge him or not. I mean, just with any case, any kind of crime you commit, it is up to that local government to determine whether they want to charge you with the crime or not.
And what's so crazy is 2 months later, he did it again and succeeded. That's what makes me think, okay, he tried it the first time. Y'all didn't do anything about it, so he tried it a second time and succeeded.
Here, let me read this. Suicide is a crime in some parts of the world. However, while suicide has been decriminalized in the Western countries, the act is still stigmatized and discouraged.
That sentence you just said sounds crazy. That's okay. Marijuana is decriminalized.
Yes.
In some states, mushrooms are decriminalized.
So basically, what they're saying is they're not going to come out and say it's legal, but they're just not going to try to charge you with attempted suicide. If you try.
That's crazy, man.
Because all that's going to do is lead to the person committing the suicide, in any way possible when they get charged with attempted suicide.
Right. I don't know how we started on abortion. Well, I guess it ties in a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
It's kind of dark, y'all. I didn't mean to take this down the dark road, but...
sometimes you got to have these conversations.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what I am. I don't know if I'm a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Conservative. I don't know what I am. I just know
It's probably best to be nothing. In this society...
Be nothing.
It's best to be nothing.
I wonder if there's a term for that. Like, when it comes to religion, being nothing is atheist or agnostic, right?
Yeah, well, atheism is a religion, but agnostic is nothing.
Okay, so I wonder if there's a term for that for politics.
Yeah, I guess independent.
Independent?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, we still have laws, rules, and regulations that we have to abide by because we live in a society. Yeah.
And there just has to be. I mean, you can't have an anarchist society because it will never last. I mean, the Wild Wild West. How did that work out for them?
Well, Western standoffs in the middle of the street, back to back. You walk 10 paces this way, I walk 10 paces this way. We'll turn around. We'll have the playing in the back. We'll have that playing in the background. First person pull their gun out.
Yes.
That's what happens in the Wild Wild West.
Yes.
But
basically, eye for an eye.
Which is in the Bible.
Yes.
But man, the Bible thing is so weird too, because in the Bible it also says it says God created the heavens and the earth on the first days, and he did all this other stuff in the 6 days. And on the 7th day he rested, which is the Sabbath, the holy day. Mm-hmm. In the Bible, I want to say it's Ephesians verse 39, chapter 5, something like that. But it says, those who work on the Sabbath shall be stoned to death. Literally, in layman's terms, saying, if you work on Sunday, you shall be killed.
That's when they took the religion seriously.
So what happened? How come people don't take religion? It's our society?
Well, there was a thing called the Enlightenment. When people realized somewhere along the way that these specific stout religious laws are actually doing more harm than good. And
explain.
We called it the Enlightenment. If you were to let's take that for example. Are Are you really doing a society good if you go up and round up everybody that decided to cut their front lawn on Sundays
Probably not.
and put them to death because this is the Lord's day?
But if you're
Now, if Jesus says, to do unto others as you have them do unto you.
which that's the golden rule. That's in the Bible.
Exactly. So, isn't that contradictive?
I would say so.
Yeah, a lot of things in the Bible are contradictive.
That's what's so weird, man. I promise y'all, I believe that there's something bigger than us. I don't know what it is, but there has to be something bigger than us
I believe there is.
to create it. I don't know what it is, but bottom line, y'all, do good, get good. Do bad, get bad.
It's not that hard.
I mean, that's the easiest thing. If you walk in here and I punch you in your face, if you decided to pull your pistol out and shoot me in the head, there's nothing I can do about it. Cause
Technically, that's not an eye for an eye, but
you
that's
pull
more like a head for a jaw. But
a life for a jaw.
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's.
But if I were to punch you right back, you'd be like, "Well, I deserved
I
that one."
deserved it because I did it to you.
Yes.
You know.
But if you come in and you're like, "Hey, man, want some of this food?"
Sure. Then the next time you come over and you walk in with a big
yeah.
plate of Subway sandwiches, hell yeah, I'm on a Subway sandwich.
Now, why is it so hard for society to do that to each other?
Social media.
Yes.
Social media.
Social media is the downfall of Western civilization. And, not even Western
I was just about to
civilization.
say that.
The entire world.
Yeah. But, man, if you look at these places, I want to say it's Japan. Have you heard of Suicide Forest?
Yes.
They have social media in Japan. They got Facebook. They got, they got all that.
They also have overpopulation.
In Japan?
Yes. Tokyo is the biggest city in the world.
Nah.
Yes.
Nah. You're going to have
Most
to look
populated.
that up. Okay, yeah. You need to rephrase that. Because it's not the biggest city in the world.
Yeah. I think Mexico City is one of those, too.
You know one of the places that has the highest suicide rates in the United States?
Seattle. Everybody
you're
says
right.
Seattle.
You know why that is?
Because there's no sunshine.
Which brings up a good point. It's so depressing. It's so gloomy. It's so dark. You're not getting any vitamin D. So because every day you wake up and it's still dark and rainy outside, it just puts that's why it says if you ever feel down and depressed, go for a walk.
Yeah,
Go for a
exactly.
walk, man.
The sun actually does so much for your mental well-being
Right.
that you would never realize it until you experience it.
Could that be brainwashing? Think about it. They say when I say the word sun to you, when I say sun, what pops in your head? Like, give me some things when I say the sun outside. What pops up in your head?
Light,
Light, what else?
yellow,
Warmth,
yeah,
so
love. I mean, happiness.
right. Now those are the words that we put onto another word. So if they say, "Hey, if you're feeling down or depressed," even though this could be a placebo effect, you may not feel anything, but it's just you've been taught in your brain, if you're feeling down, go for a walk because that sun's going to give you light, warmth, happiness. It may not be doing anything, but it's just a way to You get what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah. I do have a list of the most populated cities, by the way.
Is Tokyo in the top 3?
Number 1 is Shanghai.
China.
24.1 million people in one city.
What's number 2?
It's one of those where I have to go to each. Beijing is number 2.
Another China place that has 2 billion.
Yes.
And just give me the last one. 3rd.
All right. As soon as it comes up. Karachi. Pakistan. 18 million people.
Interesting.
Nice looking city, though.
But, dude, a lot of people don't give credit for them. A lot of people think Middle East, and when you hear the Middle East, you think Osama bin Laden and people hiding in caves and turbans and
Istanbul, Turkey.
Turkey, beautiful place.
Yeah, that's the thing. Looking at these pictures, like when you think of India, you think of ghettos, you think of
People with
shanty
no shoes.
towns. Yes, but there's some beautiful places in India.
Dubai
Yeah,
is one of the most prettiest places on earth. But then you hear about places like New Zealand, where everybody says it's freaking gorgeous.
Yes.
I bet it's not overpopulated
Number
at all.
6 is Tokyo, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't think it was the number 1, but
Yeah.
my thing is there's sunshine in Tokyo. There's social media in Tokyo.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people. There's dating
There's
apps.
Roppongi.
There's basically everything in America is in
Yes.
Japan.
They have their own versions of most places.
Right.
Like, Roppongi would be Las Vegas.
Vegas,
you
gotcha.
know.
So why is it that they have a forest where over 10,000 people have killed themselves? If it's
Because of the pressures of this city socialism. This, not socialism as in the political socialism, but socializing in an overpopulated, dense area. People are not built instinctually to handle the day-to-day life that we put ourselves into living in cities.
well, you're speaking from a Westerner standpoint.
Mhm.
You don't know what it's like on the eastern side of the world.
What do you mean? I mean, we know through media.
Only we know you get your media from Fox, and you just said
You're saying it's just like America.
no. I'm saying it may be completely different. We look at it one way because we live over here. We don't know what it's like over there.
What do you mean, though? Are you saying that they don't react to civilization like we do?
Possibly.
I mean, that possibly could be. Why do you think they have so many suicides? Or
Or
do they not? They just happen to have one spot where they congregate to do it. We have the Golden Gate Bridge.
You just took the words out of my mouth. That could be our equivalency, or our equivalent. What's the word?
Equivalency.
Our equivalency to the Suicide Forest, which is the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes.
Guys, I'm just gonna throw it out there. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Well, don't watch it. If you do want to watch it and just want to educate yourself for educational purposes, there's a great documentary on YouTube called The Jumpers.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's one of the saddest things to me, man. Like, the fact that you can just do that to yourself. Like, there's a video online, bro, where this guy just didn't even think nothing of it. He was a lawyer, just came out of some court. Very respected man in the place that he lived. Nice dressed, looks like a civilized human being. He came out of his courtroom, sat in the podium and gave a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
He gave envelopes to this lady. Hey, I need you to give this to John. Gave an envelope to this guy. Fred, make sure Katie gets this. This other guy comes up. Hey, here's an envelope. Make sure you give it to everybody at the job. Then he pulls out a big yellow envelope. He pulls the big yellow envelope out, and out of that envelope comes a .357 Magnum revolver.
Yes, I've seen this.
Live TV.
Yes. Offed himself right there.
Everybody's like, no, no, no. He's like, no, stand back. Literally puts
It's
it
part
up
of the original Faces of Fear, I believe.
and just, pow, no question.
Faces of Death. Yeah, Faces of Death, not Faces of Fear.
Jesus.
Well, you know what cortisol is?
The stuff you put on if you have a bug bite?
No, that's cortisone.
Oh.
Cortisol is a hormone that your body produces when you are under stress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's meant to get you out of get you out of tough situations. The fight or flight response.
Which every human has.
Yes. We are adapt under primitive circumstances to act to adverse situations.
Fight or flight.
Yes. Now, you see a lion running at you or a bear, grizzly bear. You're going to either make the decision right then to fight or flight, which with a bear, there's not much of a chance.
Have you seen
So
this?
you're going to flight.
Well, a lot of people say if you stand next to a bear and you're like, hey, bear, hey, bear.
Try to intimidate them.
That, if you ask me, that bear is. And then, you remember when they used to tell us just lay dead? Play dead?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Not at all.
They like it when you're dead.
Yes, that makes it easier for me.
Yes, don't play dead if you're ever in a bear attack.
That's why they say
The best thing to do is actually try to fight
Yeah,
because
hey,
you can't
bear.
outrun a bear.
Well,
You have to try to, not try to fight instantly, but try to intimidate the bear in some way. Make yourself look bigger, scream at the bear.
Hey, bear!
Yeah.
You
Throw
don't think
a
you
rock
could
and hit him in
outrun
the dome,
You don't think you could outrun a bear?
No, they're a lot faster than humans.
You think so? A
Yes.
900-pound bear?
Yes.
Man, I'd smoke that mug.
Let's
I
get
would
back.
smoke that bear. Go
No,
ahead. I'm sorry.
You're not going to outrun a bear. Trust me.
You don't think so?
No. You are not going to outrun a bear.
Can we Google what's the average running speed
All
of a
right.
bear?
I know the guys in the NFL can run like 21, 22 miles an hour. That's the fastest people.
Okay, and what can a bear run?
How fast can a bear run?
Bear species polar bear typically has a speed of 25 miles
That's
per
a polar
hour.
bear.
Well,
That's the biggest bear.
Well, do like black bears.
Black bears, right? 37 miles an hour.
How fast can the human? Let's see.
While other bears go as much as 40 miles an hour.
So 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, the fastest bears
How
go 40.
fast can the average human run? 28. Yeah, I ain't running out bear.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's what's his face, the runner?
Usain Bolt.
Yeah, that's how fast he
he-
runs.
No, that was average. I'm sure he runs.
That's it, average.
Yeah, that's average.
That's
human.
not the fastest.
No, fastest is.
Because I just saw that.
Jesus, bro. A horse average speed is 55.
Yeah, horses are quick.
Lion 50 miles.
Mhm.
Human 20 to 30 mile the average. Yeah.
Well, either way, a bear's going to outrun you. But let's get back to the point.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Cortisol is that hormone that your body creates. It starts breaking down your muscle. It gives you this boost of energy to either fight or get the hell out of there in adverse situations. Now, we're under stress in a society that we live in from day to day. You go about your life. You got social situations. You have your work. You have
bills,
traffic,
kids.
bills. Yes, all this is constantly creating cortisol. And eventually you wear thin. You run out of cortisol. It leads to depression.
Right.
Now, depression leads to suicide.
So cortisol tries to get rid of the depression? Like it makes you happy?
Cortisol gives you a boost.
Of dopamine?
Yes. It'll give you, it basically gives you a boost of adrenaline, dopamine, not necessarily dopamine, but just a boost of energy in general.
My question is when is cortisone released? Is that only in the cortisol? Is that only released in the fight or flight situation?
Usually under stressful situations.
Right.
But when we're exhausting those hormones on a daily basis, you eventually run out. You eventually wear thin and you're out of hormones, and it leads to depression.
I wonder if that takes play in a lot of, again, y'all, I'm a huge UFC fighter. In a lot of UFC fights, some of the best knockouts of all time is when people are cornered up against the cage.
Yeah.
For instance, when Anthony Pettis beat Wonder Boy, he was cornered up against the cage and did that cortisol kick in, and it was the fight or flight. All right, you're up against the cage, you're getting beat, but out of nowhere, bow, Superman punch.
A mom can, the old adage, a mom can lift a car off of a baby.
Wow, interesting.
It gives you that super strength, that, the get the hell out of there situation, or the fight back situation.
Or could that be some supernatural thing at play where maybe there's an angel that popped up and said, it's not.
Well, that's how it would have been explained
back
in
the
primitive times. Yes.
That's the burning bush.
Yes.
Which was just a burning plant.
That was the acacia.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or the only thing the acacia plant can be explained by him having the hallucinogenic things to where he spoke to a tree and got enlightenment, right? But the one thing I can't seem to explain, two things actually. How did Moses part the Red Sea? How could you put that in logically? Try to think of today's time.
That's tough to explain there. And scientifically, try to explain
that.
I don't think I've never heard an explanation for it.
Now, here's the other one. Noah getting 2 of every animal on an ark. How could you explain that? Now, I could come up with a thesis.
Yeah, I could say that, he gathered up 38 animals or 42 animals, 2 of everything. 2 of what he could find. And from that point on, the animals evolved into different animals.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, he's definitely not gathering up 3 million different species onto a boat.
True. But my thing also is, like you were saying, 2 million species or 3. Think about microbials. Like, you didn't gather those.
No.
Or
you didn't gather up mosquitoes.
Right. And how did why doesn't the Bible say anything about dinosaurs?
I don't think they were aware of them during those times.
Huh.
I mean, they definitely weren't doing archaeological digs 2,000 years ago.
Moses out there. Well, if Moses parted the Red Sea,
Yeah.
you're going to see something on that
And Moses
floor.
was more like 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and people don't seem to realize the Bible is not that far away. I mean, I want to say, what, like 10,000 years?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was alive. Is that right? Something around there.
No, Jesus was 2,000 years.
Okay, yeah, 2,000 years
And
ago.
Moses was 5,000 years ago.
Wait a minute.
Noah was 6,000 years ago.
Wait a minute. Moses was 5,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
The entire Bible, Old and New Testament, is written around Jesus Christ and God.
No, the Old Testament was before Jesus.
So Jesus isn't mentioned in the Old Testament?
I don't think so.
I know for a fact he is. I've read both
Has
of them
he?
from the beginning to the end. I know for a fact.
When was the Old Testament written?
According to BBC, the Old Testament is the original Hebrew Bible, the sacred scriptures
Oh,
of the Jewish
wow.
faith, written at different times between about 1200 and 165 BC.
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 So it was written
You should have asked, was Jesus mentioned in the Old
up
Testament?
to 3,200 years ago. That was before Jesus. This was all written before Jesus.
So
The Old Testament was before Jesus.
Google this. Was Jesus mentioned in the Old Testament?
Was Jesus mentioned in the Old Testament? There is no. And of course, Google didn't want to answer that one.
Of course. Hope you're getting too close there, sir.
No, there is Jesus referencing the Old Testament, but
He's not mentioned.
he's not talked about in the Old
Really?
Testament.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it was written before he was alive.
You know, I guess that makes sense because Jews don't necessarily believe Jesus was the Son of God, which probably, well, they have the Torah. They don't go off the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There are certain religions that believe the Old Testament is the only book, though.
Because it's so primitive, I would say.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Wait, so Moses, was he in the New Testament?
No.
Only in the Old Testament?
Yeah.
See, that, to me, that...
The whole story from before Noah up until the flood all took place in the very first book in Genesis.
So,
So there was a whole nother civilization that we have no record of before the flood. Now, religion being what it is, you can believe it or not believe it, but I do believe there was a whole society that lived before the earth was destroyed. And maybe even more than once.
So,
You know, you have the stories of Atlantis and Lemuria.
is that in the Bible?
No, that's not.
That's from Greek mythology, I want to say.
I don't think they ever... Was Atlantis I said that wrong. Was Atlantis in the Bible? I don't think they ever mentioned it. No.
Yeah. So,
Now, there is one thing where people are trying to say that it was referenced in Genesis.
yeah, just as a different... It wasn't called Atlantis.
Exactly.
Like a sunken city or something.
But yeah, see, that's the whole thing, is a great flood happens and you lose an entire city to a flood
Right.
or underwater.
So, my thing is the Old Testament, like, the very first version of the encyclopedia. And then the New Testament comes out, and it's like, oh, this is version 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just an updated version.
But they
basically.
used it as laws.
Yeah, that's what religion is. It was
And then
the
the-
law before the law.
The New Testament gets written and they're like, hey, we are more evolved people now.
You know what?
These laws make more sense now.
So, does that mean our new Bible? We have the Old Testament, we have the New Testament, now we have a New Testament, which is basically the laws we have now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could be looked at as a religion, you know?
Yeah. It very well could be if people find it 2,000 years from now and they're reading the laws that we have right now and they'll be like, you know, I don't know what you guys are doing, but this is what we should be living by.
I promise y'all, 2,000 years down the road, y'all see this Mandela book that we have right here? If every other book in here was destroyed, but this just so happened to be preserved, somebody dug this up in an archaeological find, they would think this guy was a prophet.
Yes.
They would say he had hair like wool.
Well, people believed it in this time that he was a prophet.
That's true. That's true.
So you could definitely read that and see someone believing like this was the prophet. This was the new Jesus. Or
Then again, you could find a book written by Stone Cold and say, you stomp a mud hole in somebody's ass if they disrespect you.
Yeah.
Stone.
That's how they did it back in Stone Cold's day, and that's how we should be living right now.
Hell, Stone Cold. And then look, Austin 316, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and you know who the devil would be in Austin 316?
Vince McMahon.
Or the Undertaker. He's the dead man. You know?
Yeah.
Well, Vince McMahon was one of the dead man's.
He was a demon.
Yeah, he was.
I think Undertaker worked for Vince McMahon.
Yeah, Vince McMahon is Satan himself.
Yes.
And then his apostles are the Undertaker. And
You can see that happening though, right?
100%. 100%.
Somebody would be like, there was this lawless time, back in the early 2000s or the late 90s. And along came a savior, and his name was Stone Cold Steve Austin,
and
brothers and sisters.
The religion wouldn't be called Catholicism. It wouldn't be Christian. It wouldn't be Baptist, Muslim. It'd be called WWE.
Or the Attitude Era.
Or the Attitude.
Like, what religion are you? Attitude Era.
Attitude. WWE in this thing.
Yeah.
Y'all, we're well over our time here.
We are. This was fun, though.
This was a good one, y'all. I love it when we just freestyle things. I want to thank y'all for checking out the 34th episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. Stay tuned, guys. We got so much coming in. We want to say thank you, guys, for all the subscribers. We are really close to hitting 1,600 subscribers.
So if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now because we need to get over the hump.
Please.
And into the 1,600s.
Pretty please. Make sure you hit that bell and be notified of everything we put up.
Yep, and then you can watch us as soon as it drops every week.
Right. Guys, I love you.
I love you more.
My name's Barringer Hollywood 6 Binds.
I am Larry Smokey Ramirez Cowan.
And we are over and out.
Deuces.